like even with like the book, The Cute Thesaurus, it's like you're stopping to go, no, hey, actually that was a success. You aim to get a book out there. And like it may not sell from here on out, but my goal was to get a book out there. And I might not sell a copy, might just be floating in storage. But it's like that was my original goal. So that was, that's success.
That's awesome. That's exactly success. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. This is Humans with Luke McCredden. I'm Luke McCredden, and that voice you're hearing there is Ethan Jenkins. Ethan is a writer, musician, funny guy, and an overall nice guy. And we sat down for a really fun chat and chatted all about the writing process, all about playing music and the different sort of people you play to. Plus, just had a really enjoyable chat. So this is episode 7, Ethan Jenkins.
Everything feels comfortable.
Everything's good.
Comfy seat, comfy room, nice and warm.
Yeah. I don't know what, because you wouldn't want like full-blown recliners or anything, because you'd just be too sort of...
You'd be too relaxed.
Yeah.
You want to be a bit...
You want to be
able to lean forward.
It's like
on edge.
Playing music. You can never play your guitar sitting like on a slumped-out couch or anything, can you? You can't. Well, you can.
But I reckon so we were playing a gig the other week at Clifton Hill Brew Pub.
Yeah.
And Nick Anderson, our front man, walked out the door. He's got a really long lead, I think, just for this purpose. And he walked out the front door where everyone sort of comes in, and then he just sort of laid down in the corner, still playing guitar to the song that I was singing as well. So it was
like you were actually playing live.
I was singing Valerie. So I only get 2 songs that I sing basically in the whole 3 sets that we play. And this was one of them. And Nick just lies down in the corner almost. He's just like propped up, still playing guitar in time. Everything's great. And then it gets towards the end and he just stands back up. And then I think someone went down to sit with him and then just stands back up and walks up and then off he goes again.
Why not?
So a couch would be a happy medium, I reckon.
Have you seen some of the disasters where like at especially happens at like awards nights and stuff in the like, you know, the Grammys or whatever, where they sometimes try and get off stage, come into the crowd, but then all the noises, the sound's completely out of time, and it just throws them completely. It ends up at just a complete disaster. It's happened to, I think I watched it happen to U2 or someone like that, and they just ran back on stage because they couldn't hear anything.
Take me back.
Yeah. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this.
That's all right. Oh, before I forget.
Yeah.
This is, I've got probably like an intro to who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like your pseudo brother-in-law. This is Paul and Tony's key. And I took it out of the special place that no one should know about on recording where it's hidden. And I accidentally left it in my pocket and Tony asked me, "Oh, do you have the key?"
But you know what you've done?
Yeah.
You've made it my problem.
No, I have. No, but I said to her, well, I'm saying, and now we've dropped the key. Now they don't know where it's gone.
How about I do this?
Put it on. I said, I'll be seeing Luke tomorrow.
This is sabotage.
So I could either hand it to him or we also left our washing there. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Washing never dries in winter in Elwood, but.
Man.
With the dry it does.
With the dry.
So yeah.
Anyway, good.
Thanks for.
No, but thank you.
Thanks for the baton relay of letting me pass that key on.
Yeah. Yeah, you've thrown me now. I'll deal with that later.
How to derail the podcast 101.
I just
give a man a key that he doesn't know he's about to receive.
Yeah. Pressure. And a key for an important, in-laws.
Yeah.
You can't lose that.
Yeah, you can't. It's a shared responsibility though, because the onus is still on me if you don't get it to them.
No, I know what you'll do. I gave it to Luke.
He said he'll bring it to you tonight.
Yeah.
No pressure.
He said he would deliver it on time, and he didn't.
But that's the beauty of this podcast.
Mm.
You have recorded.
Yes, the
like
handover.
The actual,
Yeah. So
you have proof.
So I've got it. But you also have proof that you've handed it over. Man, this is
stressful.
Yeah, it's stressful. But anyway, let's move on. I'm just going to leave that there.
Here we are. Well, I can see it. It's very clear to see.
Mm.
we'll remember it at the end.
Yeah, I still think there's some sort of sabotage going on here.
No, you're right, man.
It should be said that we are brothers-in-law.
I was thinking about this on the way. I was like
Yeah.
wondering if you did a little intro to your podcast, but yeah.
Well,
Your kids call me, I'm known as, well, we figured this out just recently. I used to be known as Ishan.
Ishan.
From your kids.
Yeah.
Which.
And now they've just grown out of it.
They've learnt their THs and I'm no longer Ishan.
Is that a bit sad for you? Because you had a thing there, you know?
Yeah.
And now you're just another guy.
It comes and goes. Like, so when I remember first meeting Harper, and as young kids do, not as young kids do, but Harper was just like, I'm going to marry you. And it's started dating Ash, your sister-in-law, and it was just this awkward, I'm going to marry you. And you're like, okay, I'm just new to this family and you're being full on, but you're a kid. I get it. It's cute. That went away. And then she asked, when are you and Ash getting married?
Yeah.
And then just the other day, she said, I'm going to marry you again. So she's back on it again. So she's gone full cycle. But I said to her, I've actually got a say. I've now got the confidence to say, actually, Harper, I've got a say in this. So I don't think you can just claim your marriage with me.
I have rights, you know. But the boys, on the other hand, just didn't. I think Ari was just very cautious. He stared you down for a few weeks.
Yeah, he was a bit. He's definitely been won over.
Oh, totally. They are. Yeah. They're a pushover.
I'm not a illegal uncle.
No, so
I'd like to say an emotional uncle. I get the word uncle's thrown in from time to time from your kids.
Okay, so to break it down for anyone listening, my wife
is sisters with my
with
partner.
your partner. Yeah, I was about to say it, and it was going to sort of sound confusing, but yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Anyway,
and here we are.
Yeah, and here we are. But that's not why I want to talk to you. I don't care about that.
I thought this was a grilling.
A sit down, right?
Ash has actually planned for you to have this podcast.
What are your intentions?
So the delayed. What are your intentions?
Yeah,
chat
it's only been
officially
a few
recorded.
No, I wanted to chat all sorts of stuff because you're an interesting fellow. You are. Oh, first and foremost, wanted to chat about the most recent sort of thing that you've done in terms of writing the book.
Yeah,
the Cute Thesaurus.
I've got a book out.
You got a book out.
It's weird.
That's awesome.
It is pretty cool. But
it's not your first book though. Technically, it's your first book independently.
It's my first independent book.
Yeah.
Which it's a feat in itself. Like I used to work for a publisher.
Yep.
Smudge Publishing. And just did a lot of food and lifestyle books. And this is my first little own hurrah into the publishing world.
Awesome.
Called the Cute Thesaurus.
And it's a lot of fun. Explain what it is and why you've done it.
It actually dates back to working for the publisher.
I thought you were going to say dates back to 1744.
When the word cute actually first came into the Oxford Dictionary. No, when I was working for the publisher, Joe, who was also working there at the time, used to say the word cute a lot.
Right.
And I thought, and she didn't just say like cute, like there was so many different contexts around the way she'd say it.
Yeah.
So there'd be like, someone that she met, she was like, oh, that boy was really cute. And then she'd see a puppy and be like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. And then there'd be all these different contexts, but she's using the same word. So I thought that'd be a really good book to kind of like draw out each context and then give, other words that you can use.
Suggestions.
Yeah. So it was, many years later, just decided almost as a challenge to myself to see if I could self-publish a book or get a book out there. And then also a challenge to illustrate as well. So I've always just kind of had a piece of paper that I've just doodled on and just done little illustrations. So,
but it's interesting. I wouldn't have a clue because I've never done it. But I mean, the idea is one thing, but actually doing it whether it's like in this case, it's really fun. It's a fun book. It's a lot of fun to go through and whatnot. And the pictures are really cool. But behind the scenes, it's still a major process to take on. It's a solo project, really, essentially. And so, how did you tackle that? What was it? Did you need to find a publisher first? Did you need to, find people to help you? What's the? Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends. So some are still in publishing. One of my closest mates, Grace, she worked for Penguin and then she went out on her own. And she was just like my go-to, any questions, just handball them off to Grace. But I think what was most helpful was making it easy for myself. So I decided to, like, illustration-wise, a lot of people I knew use this program Illustrator. I'm like, that's not going to work for me. I've got to make this easy so I can do it. So I ended up getting an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil and just it's basically just like a little sketch pad and just uploaded all my drawings from there. There's so many mistakes. Like I look back on it now as a project, I'm like, oh, I would have done that differently, and I would have could have done so much better. But that's just
for anyone, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
Even like songwriters or movie makers.
They're always progressing, never fully happy with their work.
Yeah.
Same with this book, but it's I got to kind of realize that and then go, no, this is an accomplishment. I've done something awesome. But so just made it easy for myself, and then I had a fully finished book that I presented to a publisher, Smith Street Books, which are just around the corner from this podcast.
Yeah.
And literally just sent a bit of a Hail Mary email, just like, what do you think of this? And then Paul, who runs that, was just, yep, can I meet with you? Let's talk about it.
Awesome.
And it was great because at the meeting he said, I just wanted to check that you weren't a crazy person to deal with. I really love the book, but I just wanted to meet first just to suss you out. And then he was like, yeah, it's great. Let's go for it.
Did he delve into that? Like, did he get a lot of people submitting things? And
I think so.
Yeah.
I think for him, he was more talking about like the follow through of, because at that stage, you're submitting it to a publisher, but then it's not a fully formed like project until they have a few things that they might want to change within the book. And there wasn't too many changes as I kind of pitched it to him as a complete project. So it was kind of already done, signed, and then just a couple of T's to, cross I's to dot.
So totally. And what has been, it's been, how long's it been out for now? It's like a year?
Came out in February. So what's that? Right. Half a year?
Yeah. So where's it at? I mean, do they do more runs of it? Like if it's, because I know it's sold quite well.
It's got 5,000 copies out there.
Yep.
And they give you they give you details of like, this is how it's going.
Yeah.
It's really weird because I knew it was going to be in Australia, and then it's also like Paul goes, oh, it'll be in the US and UK as well. And in my head, I'm like, oh, it'll just be on Book Depository and Amazon so people can buy it online. And then he's distributed it, like there's bookshops over there, and I've got mates in the US and mates that were in the UK at the time that have gone to bookshops and found it.
That's
and I'm just
cool.
like, this is insane.
That's
like,
great.
why is this?
Yeah. And do you get much? Have you had much feedback? Like, obviously, probably family and friends or whatnot. But do you get
mainly just family and friends?
You don't get too many strangers sort of shooting you a message on Facebook or something.
Well, there is the power of
fan club.
Yeah, no, there's a big fan club. No, there's not this cult following yet. I might be one of those artists that die and then they pick up this book and then it's like, oh, this is great. Not at all. But the weirdest one that I've had was a guy that I followed his art on Instagram. This is like the power of the internet, but I followed his art on Instagram. Loved all his stuff, and we just struck up a conversation about illustrating and art.
Yeah.
And then he saw that I was releasing a book, and he's in Paris.
Right.
So he just bought it online.
Wow.
And I've never met this guy, but he's just gone and bought my book because he just saw what I've done, and then
bit of a respect type thing. That's really cool. Yeah. Awesome. So what have you got much coming up? Are you doing a follow-up?
Yeah, so I have had a lot of, not a lot. I've had a couple of kids' books on the back burner that is sort of, they are under production, but it's just going through that phase, like kind of reassessing where I'm at. So having done the Cute Thesaurus, just going through like, all right, what would have I done different this time?
Yeah.
What will make it easier? I'm kind of looking at pitching it not as a complete project, but having the illustrations there as a guide to what it can look like. But there's a book coming out called Everyone Ends Up Saggy in the End.
Yeah.
This is what I've.
Wow, that's a great title.
It's been out as a written piece that a few mates know about for a while.
Right.
But it's finally just getting like the illustrations together.
Awesome. And you're doing this through the same avenue, like through same company you've dealt with in the past? And
Nah, so they don't do kids' books, so it's a whole new ball game, just trying to suss out who to pitch to. If there's any fans of the Humans podcast that are in children's publishing,
get in touch.
Everyone ends up SAG in the end.
Awesome. Awesome. So the process of it, is it, because I've spoken on the podcast to some film directors and producers and stuff, and the timelines are years, like huge. Yeah. What's generally speaking a book, and obviously there's all different types and shapes and sizes of books, but can you pump them out pretty quick, or is it a fairly lengthy process as well?
You could if you had a firecracker under you and this was your sole job to pump out a book, you could definitely do it quite quick. Yeah. It's just the turnaround on printing as well.
Yeah, okay.
But it's I feel like for these books personally, it's an idea that's been around for a while, trying to make it gel with other mates that are illustrators that may have been keen, and then sort of like it loses momentum.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just that early stage of doing any sort of
sure
art or media, just like trying to juggle momentum and get things pushing forward.
And working with other people too, in terms of other owners of the project, can be difficult as well. If one of them drops off in terms of just momentum, not drops off the project, but it can really stunt the whole thing.
Juggling momentum is
So you're doing this one on your own again, or is this one?
This one on my own. I think that's something that I've learnt in like an artistic process of just, I can kind of push all the momentum forward if I'm taking care of everything. Awesome. But I do like, it kind of makes me sound like this lonely, struggling artist, but I do like working with people. Like I really do enjoy it, but sometimes I'm just like, all right, I'll take that project back. Like this was with a dear friend of mine. Yeah. And then she just couldn't get it going she had so many things to do. And then it just got to the point where I thought, I actually really want this to see the light of day. So I just was like, do you care if I take this back? Like, I know you promised to do this, but I'll have a crack at illustrating it. And I think just even as well, building up confidence in my own illustrating. Yeah. And just being like, I can draw. Yeah. I can do this.
It's amazing, like being able to do it on an iPad or something like that. Like if you said that 20, or not even 20 years, it'd just be out of this world sort of thing. But the ability to do that and then turn it straight into an illustration in a book, because it wouldn't get much else done to it once you've done it, right? Like once you're, it's crazy. It's amazing.
It's pretty insane.
It's probably one of those things that really, we probably see more content because of it from people that can't necessarily do what they need to do in terms of pen on paper or something and go through the right avenues to get it done professionally and blah, blah, blah. Being able to sort of do it yourself in that format might mean we can see a bit more from people we might not have
Yeah,
normally,
totally.
which is really cool.
Yeah, I do. Part of me still does like the analog feel of just pen on paper, but I totally agree. Like with just any digital like medium for art, it's so easy to share.
Oh, for sure.
So easy, so much easier for people to find you.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those social media discussions too. Like I'm always in two minds about what I think of social media, and sometimes it's just like, no, it's shit. Like it's a breeding ground for just shit fights and just hate and But then on the other hand, like if you I suppose use it in a positive sense, in that just either connecting with the people you want to be connecting with, sharing ideas, sharing the things that you've been doing, then that's what it's for, and that's the beauty of it. Totally. And then connecting with people you've never met and may never will, like you were saying about the guy in Paris.
Old mate John.
Yeah. And the guests I've had on the podcast, or that I'm having on the podcast in the future, that just reach out on social media and bang, there you go. So that's good.
It's a tool. Like it can be. It's like fire can be. Used to cook a delicious meal or burn things down. That's all it is.
Yeah. The other thing I sort of referenced earlier was was it the burger book? Is that what it was called that you had involvement in?
Yeah.
It just sounds like a dream.
All my mates have thought that was the dream job. It was a bit of a dream job. The smoke and mirrors behind any sort of food media or food books was that I am the writer of it. Like the gig of being the writer of a food book isn't as good as being a photographer. Because I'm looking at a lot of photos of burgers.
You would have done samples and done
Well, this
some
is
of
the thing.
research.
So when I first went into the company...
Research.
When I first went into the company, there was a lot of, like, I guess a questionnaire type, like writing from information that a company has given you of what they want to project about themselves to an audience, which is good. But then what I just like thought would be better and get a more authentic result, or not even authentic, just like a better result, was going in to interview these people, because it's a lot of like, it's an off the cuff conversation. You're getting unedited answers. Like if someone's filling out a questionnaire, they're going, "Oh, should I write this?"
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So it'd be like, imagine if you tried to do your podcast, but it was like you had a voice actor reading out my responses that I've written to you of what I want to say
a week ago and rewritten, and no, I'll change that. It'd be so fabricated and bullshit, wouldn't it? Not saying you would, but I'm just saying the actual responses.
No, I would give you fabricated bullshit.
But the responses you'd get would be just, no, I don't want to say that because they might read it out wrong.
Yeah, they might think,
Yeah. I'm awesome. Yeah. No. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So, no, well, that's good. And that's a good way to do it. And did you find yourself, though, the only thing with that, and especially if you're, because it was like reviewing sort of, or ranking or rating?
It wasn't really a ranking or reviewing system. It was basically just where to find the best.
Right.
Like just
because I was going to say with any of those sort of, and there's a lot of bloggers and stuff out there that do the best burger or the best coffee or whatever. If you go in to do, like, say, an interview or just chat to these people, if you connected on a personal level, you'd feel obliged to actually make sure that their review was good, even if it wasn't.
Definitely.
Like it can be really blurred. Well, there is, because
a lot of them, they like the chef. When I was doing face-to-face interviews for it, the chef would come out and be like, "Oh, try this. This is, our signature, whatever." Yeah. And they want to look after you because they want a good review. So you do. It's not a good review. It's just the way that you paint the picture of that.
Yeah.
And they're all positive. It's just telling a story, basically.
Yeah. In the first episode on the Humans podcast, I spoke to Michael.
I've heard it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
But we spoke a bit about the bloggers, and obviously Michael owns a bar and a restaurant and whatever else. And, he was sort of saying that daily you'd get multiple messages going, "I'm a blogger, I want to write about you."
Yeah.
I just want a free meal. And it's just a bit of a, I don't know, it's almost about them. It's not about what they're reviewing, in quotation marks, or where they're going. It's become a bit too much.
There's a whole economy in it.
Yeah.
That's literally, so other work that I do now, I work for a company that writes content for social media.
Yeah.
And like the approaching of influencers and influencers approaching like food businesses, which poor food businesses, they have like the smallest return of investment for any companies out there. They're not making much money, but people think, the amount of customers through the door, they must be killing it.
Well, that's another thing that I'd never realised. And again, Michael and I spoke about it, was the margins were really low. And I didn't realise that. I sort of assumed with the amount of people pouring money over the bar to get beer and whatever, it must have been a high, gross profit margin sort of system. But no, apparently not, which is surprising. But yeah, and so then in turn, all these people are going, "Give us a free meal and I'll write a blog about you on something that not many people will read." You can't really justify doing that.
Yeah, I think it's a hard system, because sometimes, like, you got to justify if it is worth it. Like, are you going to get a return on bums on seats for people coming in the door? Because that's, at the end of the day, like, you can have heaps of people talking about a restaurant, but if you got no one coming in,
well, I still think there's still absolute value in getting someone doing a blog or review or a write up on your restaurant or bar or whatever it is, for sure. But I think every second person, it's like a lot of retailers in like the outdoor category, for example, is where I'm sort of connected with like a lot of people that go fishing every once a month or something will contact the fishing supplier and say, hey, I go fishing, can I use your gear for free? And it's like, well, I'm not going to get anything out of that. But then there's some people who you go, if he uses our gear or eats at our restaurant or whatever, there will be a return because he's got a fair bit of influence.
Who are the big fish in the outdoor game that you want, the big fish influencers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, all of those guys that are decent influencers in that field are just completely covered in sponsors already, you know. So they're
already loyal.
Yeah. Like, and predominantly it's the people on TV. It's hard with social, like, you know, if you're and it's no different to probably every industry. Like, if you're into golf, your social media feed's probably flooded with that sort of content, and there's so many people playing golf and there's so many people interested in it. It's like fishing. There's, you know, millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people in Victoria that do it, and everyone's a guru, you know, on social media. They've got a YouTube channel or whatever. So it's kind of, unless it's going to be, you're going to get bang for your buck, you don't just hand your product out, you know. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're giving it away, you're not going to be selling much.
Yeah, but yeah, and it doesn't. I mean, it's not hard. So you only have to have a bit of a flick through the people that are asking. Flick through their social media pages or something. And go, no one's really watching your stuff. But again, there's some that are, like, for sure. There's some that you go, let's help these guys out, and they'll definitely help us. But
the world of social media.
Yeah. Again,
crazy.
Is it a good thing? I mean, and that's Facebook too. Facebook's just a marketing platform now, isn't it?
Oh, you mean
that's all it is, right?
It's a place where people are selling all their ushies.
Yeah,
that's all I see these days.
But like the day, I don't know, maybe. But the days of connecting with people on Facebook's harder now. The organic reaches are not there anyway. If you wanted to just sort of say, hey, you know, I'm doing this thing. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's now, it's just a advertising platform that you got to pay for if you want to promote something anyway. Yeah.
Even to think of like my own, I've got a lot of mates that are musicians, and for them to advertise their own gigs, because they're not, you know, they're just like a small, I guess they are a company within themselves. They're just a small artist that they're trying to play a gig locally. I hardly get to that till so much later in the piece, and then I go, James is playing a gig at North Social.
Are they paying? They're not paying for it.
Well, yeah. Well, they're just putting it on, but just gets lost in the big feed of advertising.
They've pretty much made it where now if you're not paying to promote any of your posts, it'll never get seen, to a degree. To some degree. I think. Well, if you want it really, I suppose, shared and out there, you got to put some money behind it on Facebook. But you know, it's the way it is.
That's life.
How is the music thing?
The music
You guys are fun. The Velvet Arches.
The Velvet Arches.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All the different things. Books, burgers.
I know.
And
books, burgers, and bands. There's the next book.
Books, burgers, and bands.
Books, burgers, and bands. Wow.
No, we're good. We're just a cover band, really.
Yeah, I know, but fun.
There's a lot. That's the thing. There's a lot of fun in being a cover band. I see a lot of mates that do original music that I love, love going out to see their gigs, and it's such a, I don't know, it seems like such a pure art form to write these stories and songs and then perform them, but we're just taking all the best songs that have already been written and just putting our own spin on it, which is like a bluegrass sort of Mumford & Sons style. Yeah,
describe your band, because it's a really cool setup. And
we're a three-piece that we've got Nathan Wilson on the kick drum, plays banjo and swaps to mandolin sometimes, and on backing vocals, Nick Anderson, whose voice sounds like he sounds like a cement mixer sometimes. Like, there's a bit of gravel thrown in his voice. It's it's rough but amazing.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Like, it's brilliantly
so
rough.
Yeah.
And he's on acoustic guitar as well, and then I'm on bass and backing vocals. So.
Cool, very cool. Worth a search. I'll when I share this podcast,
plug it in the show notes.
Yeah, totally. No, but you guys do a lot of weddings and functions, things. But you also play at the market, Vic Market, which is pretty cool.
It's been a good regular, and at Clifton Hill Brew Pub. Regular.
But one thing I've noticed, and I haven't seen you live yet. I'm coming next week. No, the week after.
Week after.
Yeah. Queen Vic
Cool.
Market.
I'll see you there.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
But one thing I know for a fact, because I've seen photos and all sorts of people go nuts.
How's
that feel?
It's a weird vibe. Like because we do weddings, like 95% of our gigs are weddings. And people don't, well, no, depending on the right mood, people go nuts at a wedding, but also you're playing to a mum and, their kid dancing on the floor a lot of the time as well. So, I don't know, there's something about the Vic night market where there's just the right amount of tourists / there's, people just in a good mood. They're out. It's a Wednesday night as well, which I thought would be a hard sell to get someone on the dance floor for a Wednesday night. So, I think it's just it brings a lot of people from everywhere.
The pressure of doing a wedding must be, like, as in, not so much the pressure, you know what you're doing, you know your craft, but I mean, if it's just a hard audience, you've got to look at each other at some point and go, oh, what time is it?
It is, yeah, you have some of those nights.
We've
had some weird, wild nights and some really quiet ones as well.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you go, it's okay. We're getting paid for playing in front of
push through
2 people dancing or the whole wedding party dancing. So
I mean,
you're offering this is the funny thing that we found out with bands, wedding bands in particular. Just because the couple likes the real specific style of us, which is like bluegrass music, doesn't mean all their friends and family are going to like it. And like they might be really into it, which is great, and they're trying to and. You think the couple would be dancing to us. Yeah. They will at the first dance, guaranteed. But then they're just off talking to everyone and mingling. And then they go, oh, why didn't everyone dance? It's because it's like, well, your friends don't like the music you like. Or you need new friends. Who knows?
Both.
Yeah.
No, that's understandable. But the pubs and the market and stuff like that, I suppose you've got more of a people would be more drawn to it because if they'll hear it and come, or rather than we're here, we have to sit through it.
Yeah. People are choosing to come.
Yeah, so that's probably the strike rate's better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
the people in the crowd because the
dancing strike rate's better.
Yeah.
We have more crowds at weddings because there's people that have to be there.
Yeah, that's a lock in. That's a win.
Lock in contract.
You will listen and you will sit there and eat dessert. Yeah, but that's okay. That's all right too.
Fun. It's good. We have fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're getting paid to play music with your mates, and you get like 9.5 times out of 10, we're getting fed every time.
Yep.
And you're getting paid to play music with mates. It's a pretty good gig.
And that probably is, I suppose, is going back to what you were saying about you got friends that play original stuff and whatever. That's the catch-22, isn't it? If you want to make music, make money straight away and make decent amount of money, it's basically you got to play covers.
Yeah.
Unless you've built yourself up and you've got a good following and you're getting paid to play venues.
Totally. A lot of the pub gigs, the ones that are, there's like a certain crowd that is just like you have covers gigs.
Yeah.
It brings people in.
Yeah.
People want to have a drink on a weekend and sing along to songs they know.
Absolutely.
And request Horses by Daryl Braithwaite.
Did you do that?
No. We have it. It's strategic.
Is that the most requested song?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
It's strategically on like our phone, so we just wait to the last moment. They're nagging, and then Nick will just go, all right, we're done for the night, and then just play that. So all the anger of like the last song happening is then just like it just subsides as like Horses comes on because they're like, oh, I love this song, and then we just start packing up.
Isn't it amazing that that's become such a, well, not become, it's always been, but
it's had a resurgence. Yeah. Like, because Daryl played Falls.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah.
Insane.
But like
surely you'd be sick of playing that song if you were him.
Oh, well, not when you're writing your own checks.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, guys, he must have sitting there one day and gone, really? You want me to? Okay. Sure. Yeah. How much you pay me? Okay.
Done.
Like, it's amazing. Oh, I wonder, what is it about that song?
I don't know. I feel it's a moment.
Yeah.
It's just that sing along.
It's special. It's that.
It's the yelling. It's the build. Yeah. It's the.
And I think if you place it in at the perfect spot of intoxication,
Yeah, well, it is an end of night song.
it is, and it just resonates with everybody. I just find it bizarre. Like like I said, he must be sitting back going, "This is unbelievable. I'll take this because should have retired 20 years ago."
Yeah.
And has he got any other song? What's another Braithwaite song? I'm sure he does.
Not name one.
Oh, that's being disrespectful. I'm sure he does.
It is, but
name two. No, I can't.
Maybe a Vox Pop segment for humans.
Okay.
Name another Dale Braithwaite song.
I feel like I should Google it. I feel bad. But there's a lot of that. One hit wonders make me laugh. They're funny. There's some classics. And
what are your favourites?
One hit wonders.
Yeah.
Jesus, I should have thought about this before.
Vanilla Ice is the classic.
Yeah, totally.
And then the whole Ice is back with the brand new invention, but it's like his one.
Yeah.
Is it? Here's a theory on one hit wonders and kind of knowing music. Like, are they one hit wonders or are they just no? The idea of a one hit wonder is like they've just hit the ceiling, or it's just that we just haven't discovered their music. And there's probably like as good music. I'm not saying this about Vanilla Ice, by the way, but are there artists that we just haven't gone into their back catalogue and find stuff?
Well, when you say we, I think we may have, but a lot of it's so driven by radio or MTV or whatever it is. So I feel like, and I was thinking, I was just thinking when you were saying one hit wonders, for some reason Hoobastank comes into my head.
That's great.
But you know what I mean? Like I didn't buy an album based on them, but the song they had out, The Reason, was it? I want to say that was what it was called.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
and The Reason Is You.
Yeah.
Is that their song?
I think that's them. That was it from as far as I know, but I never researched or delved into it. Even if I did, that's me. They were never released again commercially. Well, and I'm not saying never. There may have been one or two or something, but do you know what I mean? Like, so what you were saying, I don't know. It's obviously something that either their record company or marketing department or whatever have not done a good enough job at putting the next one out there. Tub Thumping? But Chumbawamba?
Chumbawamba. What are they doing these days? That's another.
There's a question. Name another Chumbawamba song. I don't know.
Tub Thumping.
Yeah. It's bizarre though, isn't it?
How could you follow Tub Thumping though?
Because there's bands out there that seem to have 4 or 5 singles that and you're like, but they're not that catchy, or I don't know. Is there? Yeah. Have you ever thought about? Do you ever have these discussions when it comes to music? If you could have written any song, what would it have been? Do you ever do? Because I have those conversations with friends.
What would yours be?
Well, I've broken it down. These are drinking questions, and I broke it down into a couple of categories because, are you asking because do I want the song that's made the most money?
Yeah,
or do I want
okay.
the song
that
makes me go.
I need the context around it.
Yeah. So
if there's no, you go. You tell me yours first, and I'll tell you mine.
If there was a song that I would love to sit back and go, I wrote every part of that song, and it happens to also be my favorite all-time song as well. But it's Hotel California by the Eagles.
Great song.
There's so many guitar lines that I'd love to have.
Would you have been? What's your role in that song? If you're performing live, because there's you can write the song, but are you up there singing it, playing guitar, all that? Of
course I am.
All that.
I'm not lead singing it because I'm not that good, but I'm ripping those solos.
Those harmonies though, they're crank it in the back.
I haven't thought about being a part of it, but just wrote it. So kick back one day and look at your back catalogue and go, that was mine. And that would that be my one hit wonder? Probably.
I think for me it would have to be based on the fact that it's probably got the most plays of me belting it out in the car on the way home from a gig, probably as well.
Yeah.
And to a gig, Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
Wow. What a song.
It's a great song.
I nearly said a Queen song because Bohemian Rhapsody is another one of those just epic tracks that
it is an epic.
Imagine writing that. But yeah, Don't Stop Me Now. And would you be fronting that song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be Freddie. I'd have the mustache.
Yeah. Yeah. Good song. What a band. And then, then there's songs that are probably, just have made more money. Although I'm sure either of those two songs have made more money than we can ever imagine. But the songs that are just guess some of the Michael Jackson songs are, in terms of money and don't know. Yeah, but anyway, my hat was in the Hotel California ring.
Hotel California.
Yeah. Have you heard my song? It's called Hotel California. Have a listen. It's got 6 guitars in it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mine's doing something new.
It's okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Freddie. How's it going?
Do you ever think, man, I wouldn't mind just having a crack at being in a band where we write all our own tracks? I know you guys have written some.
Yeah,
but
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going down that path?
As the band that we are now? We
not
have discussed
necessarily,
it, but
just
definitely like original music.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel I'm definitely someone that there's so many ideas bubbling and things that I have passions towards in the art sphere, particularly like with music. There's so many mates that you see them on this path where they're like, oh, they just wrote that and that story that they're telling you, just like, oh, I want to have a crack at that.
Do you write?
Like so much fun. Yeah. I have like my phone is like full of voice memos of me just like in the car being like,
that's cool.
Like,
oh, by the way, the theme music in this podcast is you. I forgot all about that for a second.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. That's my first hit. That's my one hit wonder.
You will go down in history as writing the theme song to Humans. Yeah, because, you're young. You're obviously very talented.
You're still young as well.
Thank you.
You're further on, but you are still young.
Further on?
No.
You've said your piece. Now shut up. But yeah, because I mean, I think it's one or the other though, isn't it? You sort of got to commit to it. Do you think? Like, obviously you could juggle both. You could do your cover band thing and get plenty of work and whatever, but do you think it's something you will do? Like just maybe commit to an original?
I've always spoken to just seeing mates do it. Like even we've got a mate that it's weird the way he came into our lives. He's our friend's dad, and we were playing at a wedding with the Velvet Archers.
Yeah,
and our mate's dad was just like, "Oh, you got to get Lance up on stage to sing a song." And we're like, "Who's this Lance guy?" And then he's just like, "Oh, can you play just a blues number?" And he got up to surprise the wedding, like the couple, and he's in his 50s, but he didn't start music until he was. Well, he's always been musical, but he released an album, I think it was maybe 3-4 years ago. How long have we been friends? Yeah, 3-4 years ago.
Right.
And before that, he hadn't released anything. Okay. So he was just like, oh, I'm going to give it a crack.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you're just like, oh, there's heaps of time.
Well, there's certainly no rules. Like it doesn't, But, I guess it's it depends how hard you want to push yourself with it too, isn't it? Like, do you want to just completely throw yourself out there and do what you need to do to make it work, or just do it?
Just depends on the end goal.
Or I was going to say that you just sort of give yourself a goal of want to write enough material for an album, release it independently, as not necessarily try and spend hundreds of thousands on it. Just do it to and create something I'm really proud of, and then if that's it.
Yeah, I think with the access of like how much resources you have to create something quality, even compared to like what music used to be recorded quality wise, you could easily put out work, I guess, just the end goal of like, where do you want this to go? Are you wanting to write because you have this itch to release music, which I think a lot of people do, but I think some people see like, I just want that kind of music. Like some people like the lifestyle look of it, which there's not many people I know, or if any, but
it's a lifestyle that's pretty
isolated.
Yeah.
Pretty like
it's also
not much money in it.
No, it's
a bottom end, middle end.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think I think it just depends on which way you sort of want to tackle it and what your end, like you said, your end goal wants to be. I spoke to again one of the podcasts, Cameron Ford, who directed a documentary recently, The Bikes of Wrath, and we were talking about the music in it, which was amazing. And effectively, all the music, bar a couple of artists, were all sort of unsigned, unknown, with all due respect, Australian artists. And what that alone, like I think there was one artist that provided about 12 songs in the movie, in the series, and I'm like, that's success as well. Like, and I don't think you need to be playing Wembley Stadium for success,
totally.
And that's probably where the vision's skewed for a lot of people. If it's not
big, in the charts, not successful.
Yeah.
I think that's super important just like defining success, and even stopping, like even with like the book, The Cute Thesaurus, it's like you're stopping to go, no, hey, actually that was a success. You aim to get a book out there, and like it may not sell from here on out, but my goal was to get a book out there, and I might not sell a copy, might just be floating in storage, but it's like that was my original goal. So that was, that's success.
That's awesome. That's exactly success. That's great.
So,
and it's a great way to look at it. And I think you can easily be skewed too, like, or your vision, or your end goal can be shifted. Like, I think if you just start with and remember why you started doing it, don't get caught up in, but I kind of, I want to sell 10 million copies. Reality is, that's on its way. I'm not saying the Cute Thesaurus won't get to 10 million.
Well, might get to no, not at all.
But so I think you have to take that sort of opportunity to stop and go, well, this is my goal. I got to stick to it. Or like in your case, that was my goal and I did it. Yeah,
I think it's super important, particularly in like any sort of art form, to just look back and just actually be proud of. You may have progressed with the kind of work that you're putting out now, but to kind of be proud of what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even in just general life, like with your job or your whatever you're doing, you sort of, there's so much.
Everything's so horizon and what's next. And we
You
never really take a moment to stop and just.
No, you sometimes just need to stop and go, you know what? Regardless of what was going to happen or might happen in the next couple of years, this is where we're at right now, and we've done a fucking good job at it.
That's it.
It's even, it's just, I think there's too much pressure on everyone, including like that self-pressure is probably the worst.
Oh, totally.
I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you are as someone creative like yourself. You're probably constantly second-guessing yourself or checking your illustrations again and going, I could have done that better, like you said earlier.
It's true. I think the hardest thing even as well, another problem is just not feeling work is good enough at the start to it's like getting that momentum as we were talking about before, and you kind of second guess yourself before even starting. So you're just like, I've got this idea, but I can't put all the pieces together, so I won't pursue it.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Or like I don't have these pieces yet, so I'm not going to go for it. So
that
it's just
stops so many people doing anything, doesn't it?
I feel like just a lot of people need to just go, all right, it's going to be a bit ad hoc, but let's just start and just see where the ball. Get it rolling. And see where it goes. Yeah,
and don't get too sort of stuck in detail at the moment. Just get started, see, and then it'll evolve. I think that's. I mean, that's happened with me with various things. You sort of overthink it to the point where you just don't do it.
Yeah.
You've sort of made up your mind in your head.
Let's just do it. We don't know what it's going to look like. And it never looks like what you think it is going to in your head when you start.
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay. And if it's not exactly, and you're not happy with it, we stop. You can stop at some point. Yeah. It's okay to stop.
It's okay if you tried. It's fine.
But it's so true. It's so true. Yeah. Just chill out, everyone.
What are you worried about?
Just relax. What's next for you? So you've got the book. You've got some
kids' books.
Timeline on that first kids' book?
No.
You're
I've got a lot.
You're looking for a.
Got a lot of the illustrations together, but I'm just in pitching stage.
Awesome.
So just going to send it out to. Just pretty much just like I don't know how I lucked on the first one. I was just messaged a friend that I used to work in publishing with, and she was like, you should send it to Paul. So I was like, I'm going to send it to Paul.
How it works so many times though, right?
And then so I just need that weird thing to happen again where someone's like, you should send it to Mary. And I'm like, oh, great. Mary gave me a publishing deal. Cool.
Thanks, Mary. That's brilliant. She's a great lady, Mary. Why kids' books?
I don't know. I feel like there's this.
You're a big kid.
I'm a big kid, and I love the imagination. Like kids they're funny. They have the weirdest imaginations, and they just say funny things. Actually, I got the biggest compliment from your kid the other day.
Yeah.
So I made this lemon meringue pie.
Yeah.
Just to humble brag on a podcast.
Okay.
And it was delicious.
And it was amazing. Check it out on Instagram.
Ari was saying, he's like, You're saying, this is so delicious, I can't stop eating this. And he just keeps like shoveling it into his face at the same time. And I'm like, no one's ever going to, like, no influencer or anyone, if I ever open a restaurant, is going to give me as good a review as that. This kid's just honest and pure. And there's something like kids are that. They're just so honest.
Yeah. And kids are so honest and there's no filter normally. And they will just, and I'm sure you've witnessed it, you know, they just tell you exactly how they feel.
Yeah, kids' books, they're on the horizon.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here.
I'm going to remind you that you've got a key.
Oh, mate. I can't believe you've done this to me. Just for the record, if I lose it, I'm not responsible. There. Well, now it's on tape.
Okay.
Tape. It's on
tape.
Yeah.
I have handed.
No, I'll look after it. I am responsible.
You having me on and taking the key.
No, it's been great. Thanks so much for coming down.
No, I'm excited to see how this podcast.
Yeah, well,
I'll be an avid listener. Continues to be on in the future, so it's great.
Thank you, and I hope that people can enjoy it for what it is. And if you know, I've said all along, if people aren't into it, they won't listen. The people that are into it will listen. That's just, you know, that's all I can do. It's not
the long and the short of it.
Exactly. But anyway, thank you so much, man.
No worries.
It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Velvet Arches at the market next week.
Should be spicy. Everyone does this. Okay. Well, no, don't be sucked in by the curly potato.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Have you seen them?
You've told me about that. I think you've given me that warning.
Most markets, and maybe I'm just being a bit of a snob, and I haven't actually had them myself. Oh. But I kind of, just for the price and what I'm getting, potato on a stick.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it going,
no,
and the line's huge.
Yeah, right. No, I don't do lines.
So don't be sucked in.
Good. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.